All right, everyone, in today's video, we're going to try to save you some money. You like saving money, don't you? And it has specifically to do with the Chrysler Uconnect system. Whether you got a Dodge, a Jeep, a Ram, it doesn't really matter. This applies to all of them. And if you've got a broken touchscreen, we're going to see if we can fix that on the cheap. But what are your options? Well, you can go to the dealer and try to get a new one. That's probably going to run you a few $1,000s. Yeah, it's going to be pricey. They'll replace the whole unit and it'll work, but it's not a cheap repair. So you go get a used one. You still have to take it to the dealer, get it installed. Perhaps you can do it yourself, but then you have the hassle of going to the dealer to get the radio code so it can unlock the replacement unit. So is there an option? Well, let's get into it and find out. Looks like our display has seen better days. We'll have to do something with that. Hey folks, what are we working on today? Well, we happen to have our Chrysler stereo head unit, nav unit, combi unit, entertainment unit, Uconnect unit, whatever you want to call it. This one happens to be an RHB, but the premise is the same. What we're doing is someone has gotten upset and either punched the screen, or maybe they hit the brakes too hard and something's come forward and smacked the screen. Either way, this screen's no good. Now to replace one of these, we'll have a good look at it here. There you go. No good. To replace this whole unit, you're looking at a pretty hefty price tag, a few $100s anyways. And if you get a new one, then they're going to be even more. So we're going to try this secondary option because ours still had functionality, and this repair, as far as if yours has functionality, we're just going to replace the touch screen. We can order another one for about $100. It's off of Amazon. There you go, right there. We're going to put that on. Now there are two different models, so I'll warn you of the touch screen. So you gotta make sure you get the right one. So you might want to take yours apart first. So let's talk about the first thing you need to do to get this access to this. You're going to have to hit the eject, the load right here. And before you even take this out of the truck, keep it powered up, eject it, disconnect it, and make sure that the screen is out. Order the screen that you think is the same, because it really is a bit of a guessing game. I think we got the right one. And then we're going to need a couple tools, like a small screwdriver set, and a little bit of screen cleaner, and a soft rag. Now, because that screen busted, we do have some broken glass kind of wedged up in here. We're going to want to get that out, so I'm going to use some compressed air. I'm going to head out to the shop, blow that out, and then when I come back, we'll work on getting this back together. Now, there's a couple screws right here. How well you can see those, and they go down here for the hinge, and another one on this side. Take those out. Once those are out, you can take the screen and angle it and pop the tracks out. And then on the back side, you're going to take this plate off. It's going to give you a little more slack on this cable. So there's a couple little screws on that. Turn it around so you can see how it was. So that goes in there, and I had a couple screws to take those out so you can get some slack on this cable. And then you'll be able to flip the screen up and get at the screws on the back side here. And once you get all the screws out of the back side, you're going to want a little tray or something to keep these in. Just so you get an idea how small some of these screws are, they are really small, so you got to be very careful, because they're very small, easy to lose. There we go. Gotta be careful not to put too much pressure on that screen. And right there is where this other screen plugs in. Right in that slot. I'm just going to gently work that out. Okay, let's see if we can show you how these locks work. So right here is where the screen plugs in. What you're going to do is you're going to gently pry up, and that unlocks the ribbon. You can now pull it out push it in. When you put it back in, you seat it, push the lock down. So next step in this process to get this foam off all around it. And if you just get something underneath here, you might get lucky and get the glue up. And just pull it off like that. I just used a utility knife just on the corner, very carefully, popped it up. So take your box cutter, very carefully get underneath it. Just take your time with this and possibly use a razor. You just don't want to nick that screen. There we go. We got it. There, got it. Okay, we got our screen all cleaned up and ready to put the new lens on it. Now make sure you use a proper screen cleaner. Don't use Windex or something like that. It's not good for these. So we're gonna put the new screen in place. Now, if you take a close look, you'll see that this ribbon is not centered in this screen. It only goes on the one way. So make sure you get that right. And you can see that it is situated over on this side. We're gonna have to peel the back off of this. And we're gonna have to take the paper off of the foam, and then we're gonna roll it over and it'll stick like the old one did. And there we go, we've got the new cover on, the new touch screen. You can see our ribbon there. It's clipped in. So we'll get to putting this one back in and get it all together. Now the key to this is a great deal of patience and a little bit of finesse, because you don't want to use too much pressure. You're going to end up wrecking that new screen. So just take your time, get it all back together. And you'll feel the screw bottom out. Don't go much more than that. As soon as you feel it bottom out, just stop. Don't try to torque it down too much. There we go. And one last one up here. So that's 5 in the back all together. We're good. I'm gonna start putting this all back together. Okay, one last trick here I'm gonna show you is this ribbon cover. It's got a couple slots in it there and there. And that's so you can put something in there to pry the wing back in, or the tab back in, to get it to go on. So don't go trying to force this on, just gently. There you go, just like that. Now we gotta put our trim bezel back on before we slide this back in here. So we're gonna peel off this protective element a little bit, because if we don't do it now, we won't be able to get it off later. Kind of sucks, but I'd like to leave it on until it's actually installed, but we're just not gonna be able to do that. Or if we put our bezel back. There we go, we heard it snap in. I'm gonna put those little screws back in on the top here. Okay, and like I said before, we angle the screen, get the pin in the track, other pin in. Get our hinge lined up. Okay, let's get it out to the truck, plug it in, see if it works. Okay, we've got it sitting in here. Let's see what happens. Got power. Well, here comes the moment of truth. Oh. Well, I think we have some success here. Bravo! Excellent. Okay, there you go, folks. We managed to replace that screen, and we did it on a significantly reduced budget from replacing the actual unit. A little bit of technical know-how, which hopefully this video helped you get, and you're off to the races. So, let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Hit the bell, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Recommend the channel to others if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next video. Have an awesome day.